And welcome back to Jeff Koinange live at the Intercontinental Hotel. Here with a concerned citizen. Irungu Houghton went out on Monday at Langata Primary School and took a stand and paid for it. Was roughed up, arrested. In fact, Bonnie, the cameraman, a KTN cameraman who did the filming, has just tweeted or texted me, and he says, look, how can 5 police officers beat up one innocent Kenyan? I feel for his fingers, because he saw you. He was filming as you were being roughed up and your fingers were being slammed on the gate. He says, strong man you are. He says, kudos, man. But coming back to the sing jokes, man, I gotta, you know, let's
you're enjoying them.
I'm out. We're already out there, man, so you might as well continue.
You're just breathing.
Yeah. How do private developers remove protesters from grabbed land? By gassing. What do you call a land grabber lying down on a school playfield? Relaxing. What do you call a land grabber in shock? Surprising. Munir Khan, thanks for those jokes, man. If I get in trouble, I'm coming to you.
You think there's enough for a book?
I think there's enough for a little book, yeah. But Kenyans, man, creative. And this story is not going away. That's the thing. Until the real land grabber is named. Right? And it's gonna happen. I mean, look, if it doesn't happen, and he's already been named separately, as Kenyans say, the noise will continue.
The noise will continue.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, maybe the land grabber should come out and really tell us.
I mean, the thing about it, about the land grabbing really is that what's a threat, I mean, if you look at it in a much bigger sense, what's a threat really is public spaces. The government is probably the last big landowner in this country. It has always been the biggest. But if you look at the location of police stations, the location of chiefs camps, public schools, these are all to some extent prime properties. And I know this from the Kilimani area where I kind of work and I live. The Kilimani police station has a couple of acres that have been excised and grabbed, and that is a case underway. As I mentioned earlier, there are 2 schools that have lost land. So I think one of the things we need to think about going forward is how do you protect government property when there is such a demand for housing and such a speculative economy where some of these plots are worth millions. I mean, the Kilimani police station must be worth upwards about 350 million shillings just for 2 acres. And if you look at the salaries of the people who are managing the police station, it's completely distinct and different.
And disparate.
Yeah.
Got a tweet here from a guy called Samuel. Is at Kingori28, says, I know you will not read this, Jeff, but would you be interviewing this activist if your son was a victim of Occupy Playground? I'll say this, if people went to occupy my son's school, I would want Irungu there leading the pack.
I asked my sons, I have 2 sons who are in their teens, they're young, and one of them loves basketball. So this week I asked him, what would you do if you came back from the Christmas holidays and found a wall separating the school buildings from the basketball court? And he said, I would tear it down.
He said that?
Yes.
You see that?
Yeah. So I don't think we need to belittle children. I don't think we need to remove them and deny them their voice and their sense of fairness. I think we need to be cultivating that. And yes, we need to cultivate so that it's responsible, that it's not destructive, but at the same time we need to actually recognize that these are the people that will safeguard all the public properties that are in this country when you and me are gone.
Yeah. This guy called Jeremiah Karaoke says, I met Irungu Houghton while working as head of Pan-Africa for Oxfam, a role model for me on advocacy and another form of activism. Well done. Do you know him?
I do.
Okay.
He met me, so I must know him.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Good answer.
Yeah.
Kenyans should learn to stand up for ourselves, says Felix Akoko. The question is, what motivates people like Irungu Houghton?
Well, I'm very passionate about the Constitution. I think the Constitution was probably the most transformative document that Kenyans have produced since independence, if not even before. It will only mean more than a piece of paper if we are able to promote it, to defend it, to take actions that actually bring that piece of paper, that document, into life. We need to breathe the life into the Constitution. Joining parent-teachers associations. Many people drive past public schools, many middle-class people drive past public schools and they don't take the time to actually drive in and find out what is it that they could do to help the Parent Teachers Association there to actually improve the quality of those schools. And we've seen that with the Kilimani Project Foundation, which I chair with a number of Kilimanians. One of the things we do is we've reached out to the primary school, which is a public school, and over a period of a year, we've seen wonderful results which have benefited both the children of that school, about 1,000 students, mostly from Kibra and from Kangwari.
Yeah.
They now have a swimming pool that is renovated, and I don't know if you swim, Jeff. Do you swim?
Well,
Can you say this on public television?
4 times a week.
Okay, great. I would
100 lengths.
Let me invite you. You can do 100 lengths at the Kilimani Primary School, and actually the headmaster there would be very excited to receive you at the gate, I suspect. There may be a couple of fans as well.
I was going to say, people are going to be watching.
Everywhere you go, people are watching.
Oh, man. Okay, I'll come.
Okay.
I'll come and swim.
So really, I think what we can do is care for people. And somebody asked, what is it that we could do? I think there is scope for everybody to do something great. But if you can't do something great, do something small in a great way.
Yeah.
Right? You don't have to do the big actions, but you can take action.
Absolutely. And it brings me to my tweet here from Sandro Tangut. Says, when you see and hear Irungu Houghton, you realize middle class is taking up the country seriously. No more armchair activism. This apathy we've had for years. Yes, we can be very active on social media, but when it comes to action, we talk the talk, but we can't walk the walk. Is that changing?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I wouldn't say that it's either one or the other. I think Twitter is like the telephone, in the old days we used to call each other and we would talk about what we needed to do. And I think, using social media as a way of talking to people and getting a sense of what the public interest and then expressing that in the world is what we need to do. So we have to do both, basically.
Oyungapala, what's up? OP says, Irungu Houghton dropping some heavy nuggets. Measured and thoughtful.
Yeah, hopefully they won't be grabbed. No, they can be grabbed.
Absolutely. Kenya Dialogues PRJ says commitment cannot sit in place of complaint. People are waking up.
Well, you look at any of the viewers, just spend a minute just thinking about any complaint in your life. I bet you when you look at it a bit more seriously, there is actually no commitment to transforming that. The people who complain most about potholes on the roads are the people who have never made a phone call. The people who complain about KPLC dropping the electricity are probably the people who are not making the phone calls. It's not possible to carry a complaint if you are in action. And I think what we need to do is shift, many of us, me included, to stop, say, I'm no longer going to complain about this issue. I'm not going to whine about this issue. I'm actually going to take action and resolve this issue. And it doesn't require anybody else, just me.
Yeah, just you, but there's a couple of Kenyans or a couple of million Kenyans out there who would want to do more, who maybe have a free weekend or free, once in a while they are free and they want to be a part of this, our new Kenya. What do they do? Where do they go?
I would say if you're inspired by, kind of what happened on Monday, one of the things you could do is just go to the nearest public primary school and ask, how can I assist? Just painting the school. Many of the public schools, and this is the thing that is most shocking about what happened on Monday, many of the public schools are dilapidated. They don't have enough textbooks. The children do not have any form of protection as they're walking back and forth to school. The fences are probably ramshackle and broken down. There are things that individual citizens can do that would really make a difference. And I think that's a starting point. If you're not doing that, then I think, while I respect everybody has the right to opinion, the opinions that I value most are the opinions of people who want to do something and make a difference.
Yeah, it brings me to Julius Wakiana's tweet. He says, I'm surprised at how much more we can collectively achieve by direct participation in constructive activism. And people just don't realize the power they have, do they?
No, absolutely. The land grabber is strong because the people whose land are being grabbed are silent.
Yeah. Anne McCreth, part of the Kilimani Association.
She's on the board. And in fact, actually, I should just probably say to her, directly, is that she gave me a T-shirt to wear today, which is a wonderful T-shirt.
Was it a Kiko Romeo thing?
It was a Kiko Romeo T-shirt. It was great. And it said, free to play. Unfortunately, the size was a little bit too small, or should I say I'm a little bit too big for the T-shirt.
Could have been snug, though. Nice and snug.
It's a little sexy. So what I've decided to do is I'm actually going to take it to one of the, maybe I'll offer it to Lucy Jerry as a t-shirt. Maybe we should have all the kids in t-shirts to say free to play.
Free to play.
Free to play.
Nice. She says, yay, Jeff Koinange is coming to swim 100 lengths at Kilimani.
You're committed.
Yeah, right.
Monday morning. What time?
6:30.
When nobody's there.
Yeah, exactly.
I got it. Still dark.
Yeah, still very dark.
You can wear sunglasses. I got it.
I do wear goggles. If you can't do something great, do something small in a great way.
I think so.
People are responding, man.
I think so. I'm optimistic. I mean, I think and not just about Monday. I think this country is actually a country of great people.
Yeah.
And
they just need a leader. They just need a push.
They need leadership.
Yeah.
And if the leadership is not there, then actually they need to step up, provide the conditions for leadership to emerge.
Absolutely. John Karime. Here we go. Langata land was just the start. The next one will be the icing on the cake.
Okay, I think we're going to run through a lot of singing
between now
and tomorrow morning. And actually, the Kenyan diaspora hasn't even.
I know.
The Kenyan diaspora hasn't weighed in yet.
Hasn't weighed in, yeah.
So there's another 9 hours ahead.
Oh my. John Mukundi says, tell Irungu to continue standing up for those who cannot stand on their own. What's to stop this whole movement, what happened Monday, from ending by Saturday? What's to stop it, Irungu?
Well, what's going to stop it is that I suspect injustices will continue. And wherever injustices are, there is always a response. So this will not end tomorrow. What I would just hope really is that what happened on Monday really demonstrates to the government at all levels, even the county governments, that really getting ahead of public interest, speaking to what matters to people, really avoids the kind of things that we saw on Monday. And leadership is all about that. It's being able to preempt tension, being able to preempt antagonism and conflict. Yeah. And I think what's missing in some ways is actually how do you manage public involvement. Now we know from the last year that less than 100 people showed up in the county of Nairobi to discuss the budget of the county of Nairobi. 100 people. I have relatives more than 100, right? And you know, for me the question was like, in 2015, how do we make sure that out of the 4.5 million Kenyans that live in Nairobi and elsewhere in the different counties, how do we make sure that they are actually giving priorities to their MCAs and to their senators and to their governors, to make sure that actually people's interests forms the basis of planning, and the planning then speaks to people's interests? Because I think if you did that effectively, you would have ownership and you would have probably no room for any corruption.
This happened in Nairobi County, probably obviously the most powerful, the biggest county in the country. You think there's going to be a ripple effect across the other 46? Because land grabbing has taken part across the country.
The ripple effect that I would like to see is not children having to pull down walls with concerned citizens. The ripple effect I'd like to see is the county governments out there taking a step and beginning to audit all the public schools, beginning to demarcate where the boundaries of those schools are, and essentially, if necessary, give title deeds to those schools. Do the same thing for police stations. You know, one of the things that I was told by the police officers when I spent a little time at the courtesy of the state was that the police officers actually fear police stations being grabbed. And there's many cases where, you know, land has actually been grabbed from police stations. And we've seen, you know, if land grabbers can grab State House in Mombasa, you know, then there is nowhere that is sacred. Yeah. So we have to actually create ways in which the governments can take action before citizens have to take action.
Proactivity.
Proactivity.
Boniface Mwangi is watching.
He is?
You watched him, he's watching you. He says, Irungu did an amazing job Monday. He brought a lot of calmness to the occupation. Ask him, where are we going to occupy next?
Well, when it's we, not sure. There are a number of, I mean, we know that there are probably, there are 205 schools across the county of Nairobi, which are public schools. We know that at least 20 of those have lands grabbed. Now, my suggestion would be that the Ministry of Lands and the National Lands Commission move to occupy those schools and give those schools back to the rightful owners before citizens have to do that. Yeah. And I don't think, you know, it has to be one or two. Boniface can't run all over this country trying to draw attention to theft and to land grabs. And actually, it's not his responsibility. It is only his responsibility when the government does not take action. So my advice would be, to all the government agencies, just get there before the students get there.
Yeah. And pressure's going to be on Mama Charity Ngilo to expedite those title deeds to the schools, isn't it?
Absolutely. And actually, if she was here, I would have said, please don't resign. And
Yep.
some people will find this very strange. I would say don't resign, because you've made a number of promises to the teachers and to the headmasters and headmistresses and to the pupils of all the schools that you would actually ensure that they have title deeds. So there is a bit of work that you have committed to doing before you are relieved and can move on to something else.
Yeah.
So I would say no. There is a legacy to be won here, not just by the Minister, by the Cabinet Secretary for Lands, but even by the National Land Commission, by the Internal Security. There are legacies to be plucked from this that would leave them being able to write memoirs and biographies that even us, we would be proud of.
Nice one. Okay, you got about a minute left to go. That's your camera there, Irungu. I give you this time to talk to Kenyans directly. Tell them what's on your mind going forward.
Well, I think what I'm left with from Monday is really that the power and the voice and the agency, the actions of children really matter, and that they are powerful, and that they, when guided, can actually stand up for what matters to them. I think the second thing really is that, just to say again, that to have children tear-gassed as they begin to claim what is really theirs was unacceptable and really unexpected. And I hope that there's never a repeat of that again. But I do think this country is waking, and I do think the leadership needs to take a quick look at the areas that the public have indicated that they're concerned about and get ahead of the curve. Please don't respond. Please take action proactively.
Absolutely. Well put. Well put. On a closing note, a couple of people tweeted in. Shadok says, Irungu is a mentor and a voice of the voiceless. Thumbs up. He salutes you. There's another one here. For the longest time, land was a reward for singing the Kanu tunes. One more for the road. We're going to get sued. Let's get sued collectively. Thank you, Irungu, for rising to the occasion.
That's a nice one. I like that.
I hope and pray there will be no more trespassing.
Amen.
Good to see you, man.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations. Good luck. Stay safe.
Thank you very much.
And all the best going forward, man. And I will come and swim, I promise.
Okay.
I promise.
I'll be there. 6:30, Monday morning.
Monday morning.
And the whole of Kilimania.
Don't spread the word. Irungu Houghton, what a Kenyan. This is what we mean when we talk about the future of this amazing country. We have people like Irungu standing up for those who cannot stand for themselves. But you can do something. It starts with you. And it starts now. I keep saying, if not us, then who? If not now, then when? Thanks so much for watching. Keep tweeting at Irungu Houghton, at Koinange Jeff. The hashtag is JKL. You cannot find guests like Irungu Houghton anywhere else but right here on Kenya's television network, KTN. Next week, new guests, new week, new theme, new topics, same place, same time. My guest next week will include the likes of Gunjiri Wambogo, who's got a lot to say about the Kenya Politics 101. You're not going to want to miss that on Wednesday. On Thursday, Inspiration Thursday will be with another fallen athlete of back in the day. His name, Billy Conchella. Remember that name? 2 World Championship gold medals. And then it was downhill from there. But he's picked himself up. You're going to want to hear what Billy has to say. That's all next week, right here. JKL on Kenya's television network. Again, only KTN. Thanks for watching. Good night. Good luck.